removed from Oklahoma now, your old boss is retired. Is there anything beyond that special playing these guys?
It's a great team.
Yeah.
A great program. This place shares a lot of history, tradition. That one does too. A lot of pride, a lot of fan base. It's an honor to coach here. Great people. It's good for our family. So it's going to be an awesome challenge.
What'd you grow most in when you were there? Because you were there for a while. Probably your longest stop when you're
probably
coaching.
as a dad, because I had 9 years of my kids going through elementary schools and all that stuff. No, I've said this several times. We as a younger coach, Randy Walker was awesome. Miami of Ohio, went to Northwestern, we did well. I think at Oklahoma I grew a lot as a coach because of a lot of mistakes that kids made that I always thought it was their fault. I started realizing I wasn't coaching well, wasn't connecting with them, wasn't putting them in good situations, didn't capture them in the meeting room, didn't capture them on the field, didn't drill it right. Because as a young coach I always thought it was the kids. And I went to Oklahoma and I said it several times, it made me a better coach because I realized, it was my responsibility to connect. I saw some of the same mistakes by kids that you thought had more talent. And so it was a lot of reflection, and it was awesome working with Coach Stoops. He's a great leader. But again, it's also awesome being here with Coach Myron.
Kevin,
very similar stuff.
When you were at Oklahoma, how important was recruiting Texas for that program, and what do you remember about how you were received as an Oklahoma coach down there in that state? Was it almost like it was a home state for you guys down there?
Well, I took over when Coach Mangino went to KU. So they gave me the up north ag, Kansas and Missouri, which means I was 5 years I coached tight ends. So a lot of times that was back when we rotated coaches in and out. I was always the guy stuck in the office. It seemed like my wife several times asked Coach Stoops if he would put me on the road to get me out of the house so I could get out of her way. But it was Coach Switzer, I think years ago, a lot of people started that, and there's great football in Oklahoma though, and just the population base is such. 2.5, 3 hours from Dallas has always been great. The North, East Texas football is awesome. Houston, pray for those families down there. I know they have a lot of players, we do too, that are affected by the tragedy and the weather issue there with the hurricane. But Texas is great football. It's a great state.
Does Oklahoma have to recruit Texas successfully to be a top-tier, top-5 program in this country?
Yeah, we recruited it also, but we got national players. DeMarco Murray's from Vegas, and we got some good national players. Just like we have to recruit Ohio. To do well at Ohio State, and Texas complement. Oklahoma has to recruit at state, and they also have to complement it with Texas. But when you're a national brand, you get the best players in the country. I think we're all kind of doing the same thing.
As you analyze the Indiana film, how do you feel like your offense played, Kevin, overall?
Early we sputtered. I thought they did a nice job of just subtly placing some linebackers and safety support we didn't identify. Left some guys unblocked. I thought several times we called some plays that got us behind chains, and we left some points on the board. We had several third down manageables we didn't manage. We got the ball inside the 10-yard line twice, had kicked field goals, we left some points on the board. We had a couple plays get away, but sometimes, kids playing hard, you make a play, miss a play. So it was nice to finish strong. I think the second half, we have a drop on a potential big play, and a fourth down we don't get, then we score, and I made a bad call on a 3rd and 1 play that hurt us, and we didn't score one time. So other than that, it was good. It was a very good second half.
The tempo, is that pretty much what you want to see? Or do you guys want to go a little faster? I know you're going to mix things up, but tempo-wise, is that pretty much what you guys want to be this year?
I don't know. I mean, it's rhythm of the game, it's execution. When you get first downs, you can play fast. When you don't, you can't. Some plays to me are certain defenses and certain looks. You just, I'd say they're sensitive plays, meaning you can be in harm's way. So you just pick your spots of the play style, and it's worth risk and reward. And I think we were okay. I don't think we weren't trying to go faster, but we can play faster. I wouldn't say it was good or bad. It just was the way it was.
You had talked before the Indiana game about facing potential distractions, but you were also facing a team of players you'd recruited. I wonder if you'd say the same thing about this week. Are there potential distractions?
No, this one's different. I love my time there, and Coach Stoops is a special person, and Kel Gundy will be over there, and Coach Jerry Schmidt, Matt McMill, a lot of friends. Last week was tough. Those were emotional ties to players, and right now, the players. I've always watched them because I always like watching them as a fan, and pulling for the coaches, and I always like watching great teams. So as coaches, especially now if they got all these games and replay all during the week, you seem like you watch games when you're at home all the time now instead of watching real TV, I guess, you know. So I mean, I watch them a lot, but I love the placement, not attached. Last week I was attached to people, and that was hard for me.
Kevin, an open-ended question, but who in your mind just really jumped out and maybe not surprised you, but reinforced something with you last week offensively on your side of the ball for your team?
It was nice to see Brandon Bowen and Michael Jordan had solid camps. They played well inside, which was good. You know, our tackles have gotten better. It was nice to see those inside guards play well. Marcus Ball had not done a lot. That's the most plays he had. We need that position to pick up. We thought J.K. could do it. It was nice the ring didn't get too big. But probably going back to Johnny Dixon and Terry McLaurin and Paris, those guys have been consistent. They had good games. That was good to see.
And J.K. Dobbins, Mike Weber, I mean, you're the guy, you and Ryan are the guys scheming this up, but can you see both of those guys in the backfield at once along with JT? I mean, what's just sort of your plan going ahead now when you've got two of those guys?
I mean, we've had some offenses through the years that had that.
Right.
The deal is, are they two backs or can you move the backs around a little bit? Because the ability to have, like right now, we have a tight end that can be a tight end and flex out. That's pretty good. Or you use Paris Campbell and you move him around from receiver. And last week you do a little bit some things almost as a running back. That would be the thing if you look at two tailbacks. You just don't want to be. You could where you're in two backfield set, but to me it's really good when you can move those pieces around. So right now we're just trying to get Mike up to speed. He's had a good week of practice. We'll see how the game goes. And we'll see how it moves forward.
But J.K. won't stay on the shelf now, will he, or will? I mean, is it? I mean, you plan to use two? I mean, maybe not at the same time, but I mean.
Well, last week you used two last week.
Yeah.
I mean, you need two. You're going to get tired of gas. I actually think you need three. And so, no matter who goes out there first, I think they're all going to play, and it'd be nice to get Mike off and see what he's got this week.
Couple more questions. Play calling, mechanics-wise, that was the first time for you, Coach Day and Coach Meyer all together in game setting. Were there any surprises? Did it go as well as you wanted? Just working together and getting a play call in for the first time as a group?
Yeah, you know, we had, like Coach had mentioned, we had done quite a bit of that in practice. Now, a lot of times in practice, you know, he's kind of watching the whole thing and really not, you know, a part of the communication where he was the other day. But a lot of times your communication is after the drive. Hey, what are we thinking next? What couple of things? Hey, if we get in a third and long, what do you like? A third and short. If we get back down the scoring zone, you got some things. What's your first 3 or 4 calls to get it going? And that's kind of discussed. A lot of times, you know, it's second down, and as soon as I call the play, okay, third and long, what do you like? Third and me. I'm saying that before we even run the second down play. Just trying to stay a little bit ahead because you don't want to knee jerk. If you're going fast, you can't wait till after and then react. You're trying to be a little bit ahead. You still know where the ball is going. Pass could flip. You know, you think it's going to be 3rd and 8. You got a first down, so you go to the next one. So you got to have a little bit of ebb and flow, but you're just trying to anticipate. I thought it went good. I'm sure the more we do it, the better it'll be. I thought. I mean, and there was some stress going on there, and I thought we stayed calm and managed it, and I think that's why the second half went smooth.
The way you guys did that during camp, had you done that many other times in your career where you're throwing out scripts and just, you know, kind of freewheeling throughout
Yeah,
camps?
when I first went to Oklahoma, Coach Stoops was much like that with coming from Coach Spurrier. Just call it, because he used to say all the time, hey, the coach has got to practice calling plays. Sometimes though, like when you're getting into your preparation, well, I want to run this play, because really you're trying to practice hard. I want to run it really into a hard blitz, hard defensive line movement, tough coverages. You want to one time give them one look, next time give them the next look. So sometimes you plan practice because you want your players to work, but sometimes it is good to have that ebb and flow.
Did you like being in the box? I mean, it's been a long press box. I mean,
it's calm up there. You can see it all. It's good.
Yeah, but I mean, was it a big adjustment for you, or was it? What was the benefit besides calm? Yeah.
I mean, I mean, you're used to worry about kicking and where to set the punt returner, or hey, what's going on in defense? Like, hey, okay, next drive. What do you? Because I've been calling a lot of plays and doing that, but still trying to manage a lot. It was I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was comfortable.
Kevin,
last question.
Ohio State had success throwing in Noah Brown in the red zone last year against Oklahoma. When you see the Oklahoma secondary now, how do they look to you? What stands out about them?
It's tough because in the first game, you know, UTEP's a little bit of a bigger personnel groupings with 2 tight ends, and so there's not as much spread. When it was 3rd down passing, and so there's some calculation. You know, if they made some defensive changes, they have, but you know, what is it? So we got to be ready for a lot. It's almost like it's an opening game, even though you know them, and I know they had one really good player for them had a knee injury, but they also have some depth there. So you know, you're watching last year's games. But those kids are now a year older, so it's going to be a little bit like that opening deal. We'll have to be ready to adjust and adapt, and we got a plan, but we'll have to adapt and adjust real quick to score some points this week.
Great, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach.